అన్ని రకాల నొప్పుల నుండి తక్షణ ఉపశమనం కలిగిస్తాయి మై డాక్టర్ పెయిన్ రిలీఫ్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్. ఎటువంటి సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ లేకుండా.
Artist and producer, which is difficult?
Initially, production was difficult because I was very new to the entire understanding of how to take a film forward.
ఈ కాశ్మీర్ ఫైల్స్ మూవీ ఈ స్టార్టింగ్ నార్మల్ మూవీ, సో స్క్రిప్ట్ వర్కింగ్ అండ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ వన్స్ ఏ మూవీ is released, so many controversies.
Venki, whenever we present a film, especially films like Kashmir Files or Tashkent Files or our upcoming Delhi Files, see, the controversies were bound to happen because whatever happened to the Kashmiri Pandits was not made known to anybody in our country. Who do we make the films for? The majority or these bunch of jokers?
Pallavi ji acted with so many directors, so many movies. How many marks you give to Vivek ji?
I don't want to talk about him. I mean, I'm so used to working with him, the world knows about it.
హాయ్ హలో అందరికీ నమస్కారం, వెల్కమ్ టు iDream మీడియా. యాక్చువల్గా నాతో గెస్ట్ ఉన్నారు. ఆ గెస్ట్ ఏంటంటే ఆవిడ అన్ని లాంగ్వేజ్లో చేస్తున్నారు. ఆవిడ విధంగా ఏంటంటే 2 నేషనల్ అవార్డులు వచ్చినాయి. మొన్న రీసెంట్ కాశ్మీర్ ఫైల్స్లో ఆవిడే కీ రోల్ చేశారు, మన పల్లవి జోషి గారు. సో ఇప్పుడు వ్యాక్సిన్ వార్ సినిమాతో వస్తున్నారు. సో ఒకసారి ఆవిడతో మాట్లాడి ఆమె సినీ కెరీర్ అది తెలుసుకుందాం. యా, హాయ్ మ్యామ్, నమస్తే మ్యామ్.
Namaste.
ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ కంగ్రాట్స్ మేడం ఫర్ యువర్ 50 years ఫిల్మ్ జర్నీ.
Thank you.
హౌ కెన్ యూ ఫీల్ మేడం 50 years జర్నీ?
It doesn't seem like 50 years.
ఫర్ చైల్డ్ ఆర్టిస్ట్ టు
Yeah. See, what happens generally is that if you see a normal person, once he or she grows up and they get into a job sector, a typical working period of any human being is about anything between 30 to 35, 37 years maximum. But I've completed 50 years and I am still a middle-aged person.
Yes.
I'm not like an 80-year-old, yet. So it feels that yes, I've been here a long time, but then there's still so much more to do. So the enthusiasm, the vigor to try something new, to tell more stories is still there. So I consider myself lucky that I started young. So I had a bigger innings.
బ్యూటిఫుల్ జర్నీ. ఇట్స్ ఎ బ్యూటిఫుల్ జర్నీ.
Yes, it has been.
ఫ్రమ్ ఏ ఆర్టిస్ట్ అండ్ ప్రొడ్యూసర్, విచ్ ఇస్ డిఫికల్ట్ మేడం?
Initially, production was difficult because I was very new to the entire understanding of how to take a film forward. But I think now I have kind of settled into the role of a producer. The life of an artist is easier and actors are the most, how do you say, pampered of every other profession in the film industry. But when it comes to serious acting, when you are working on the sets, that is the time, the entire responsibility of the film lies on your shoulder. So your job is probably the most important job, because whatever the writer has written, whatever the director wants in the film, whatever messaging has to be given, it all has to be done by the actors. So there is tremendous sense of responsibility. But once that is done, then you're, footloose, fancifully, you've got nothing to do with anything. But the producer has to carry the film. It's like having a baby, basically. You go through the 9 months of labor, then you have the baby, and then you're taking care of the baby until you push them into the world as adults and say, okay, now you're on your own, and when the bird flies the nest. So making a film is almost like that. Like a parent, you have to look after the baby, you have to nurture it right up till the time it matures and then leave it in front of the audience.
సో లైక్ వివేక్ జీ అండ్ యువర్ బాండింగ్ అంటే మామూలు ఈ స్టోరీ డిస్కషన్ టైంలో ఇద్దరు ఎట్లా స్టోరీ టైంలో?
You mean how we discuss the story? Okay. So up until now, see, I'll tell you what has happened. Vivek has done his bit in commercial films. He's done Goal and Chocolate and everything. I was also working independently. But we both felt that, something was missing. earning your name, fame, glory, earning money, making, building a house for yourself, providing for your children, all that is important in life. But all that happened, but what next? Somewhere a deep sense of monotony had, taken place, and I wasn't really enjoying myself. So for me, it was easier. Being a woman, I said, I don't want to work. I'm going to take a break. And I sat at home with my children. I said, I'll invest my time in my children. What does the man do? The man can't leave working. It is a woman's choice even now. So that was the time both of us started thinking that, why should we keep doing the same thing? I mean, we came here because we wanted to tell some stories. We wanted to make some movies. Why is the film industry not changing? Why are we, doing the same thing over and over again? And then at one point we realized that we cannot just be cribbing about it. If we want the change to happen, then somebody has to take charge of that change. Somebody has to take some proactive steps to make that change possible. So both of us said, why not, us? I mean, instead of just sitting here and talking in your living room and cribbing and saying, yaar, kuch nahi ho raha hai, let's do something. So we started our journey together. We decided to collaborate as a producer, director, actor, writer. So he was playing 2 roles, I was playing 2 roles. And between the 2 of us, we decided to wear multiple hats and started with Buddha in a traffic jam. And then the rest is history.
The Kashmir Files movie is starting normal movie. So it's script working and production. Once a movie is released, so many controversies.
Yeah.
Movie big hit, but so many controversial issues.
See, the controversies were bound to happen because whatever happened to the Kashmiri Pandits was not made known to anybody in our country. The only thing we came to know from Kashmir was the terrorism there, and how the army is fighting the terrorists, how the terrorists are being, great injustice is being done to them by the army, and that's why they're turning terrorists. That was the narrative I heard since the time the Kashmir problem started. In fact, I was about 22 years old. Maybe 20 years old, I don't remember, but I was old enough to know the way the world works. I was shooting for a film called Tehelka, and I was supposed to shoot in Kashmir.
Okay.
And then a month before the shoot, this was around April, we were supposed to shoot in March, and then our shoot got shifted. And we shot in April, and the reason given to us was that there is some kind of terrorism happening there. That was it. There was nothing else that came out. April, we shot in Himachal. We were shooting in Kullu Manali. Came back, and we were young, so we were playing pranks on each other and, generally having a lot of fun doing the movie without realizing that in the adjoining state, people are getting butchered. And this news never came out. I didn't know until I started my research that Kashmiri Pandits do not live in Kashmir anymore. So systematically, this news was hidden from us. Now, if somebody is now going to try to make a movie on it and tell the truth, which was hidden for 30 years, there are going to be some people who are not going to like it. They are going to be extremely uncomfortable. And they will be the one who will attack us. We knew that for sure.
Your character also different, ma'am.
My character was different. So what we try and do is, Venki, whenever we present a film, especially films like Kashmir Files or Tashkent Files or our upcoming Delhi Files, which have a political angle to it. See, our country is, a beautiful blend of a lot of different cultures and ideologies. I don't want to sit here and comment which is good and which is bad, because each to his own. But there are certainly 2 narratives going on in our country right now. And this always happens. When you're on the brink of doing something great, when you're on the cusp of adulthood, children also fight with their parents. Because they think that they are old, they think they have a point of view, and the parents tell them that no, you're still wrong, you still have to grow. So I think India is somewhere there. There are 2 ideologies at loggerheads with each other. And as filmmakers, our duty is to keep both those points of view in front of people. But ultimately, it's cinema. One has to be good, one has to be bad. So then we show the good, getting victorious and then the bad guy falling. So that has to be there. I mean, you can't make a cinema without it. But as far as possible, we try to keep both the narratives in front of people, and that's exactly what we did in Kashmir Files. So up until the end, you see my character, I think it's very believable. And people think that what Radhika Menon is saying is absolutely right. Until the time when she says government bhale unki ho, system to hamara hai, that is the time you realize that this woman has got some very vile intentions, and that is the time you start hating her.
Yeah, coming to Tashkent Files and Kashmir Files, Delhi Files, three are very sensitive issues and controversial issues.
Correct.
Why are you both selecting this type movies?
Because as I said, truth has to be told. And
the success formula is controversial movies.
It's not a success formula. It is, I think, our commitment towards making films which concern our country. So what we set out with, there was a very basic thought in our mind that the digit 3 is very important to India. We have a tricolor. And then there are actually 3 pillars of democracy, 4th being the media. But essentially before the media comes into being, without the 3 pillars, your democracy is going to crumble. So then we decided to look at our democracy, and we realized that our national emblem is also 3 lions. So we realized let's figure out, what we can do with this. And then truth, justice, and then freedom or liberty or life. These are the basic pillars that any democracy stands on. So we decided to make a trilogy on the basis of these 3 pillars of democracy. The first is your right to truth. So in Tashkent Files, we asked questions about Lal Bahadur Shastri. Yes. But the second Prime Minister's death is still such a big mystery. Where is our right to truth in this democracy? So steps need to be taken. We need to become a more open society. 50 years later, everything has to come into public domain. It's been 63 years now since Shastriji's death, and we still don't know the truth. Tell us he died of a heart attack, we are fine. We are not into conspiracy theories. We are not saying that he was murdered. But tell us the truth. Give us one truth. So the second film was Right to Justice, where the Kashmiri Pandits, after 33 years, haven't gotten any justice. So we presented their movie, and we questioned Indians' right to justice. And with the third film, Delhi Files, we are questioning Indians' right to life, to a dignified life. Now, all these 3 things have to be given to every citizen, may it be Mukesh Ambani or may it be a beggar on the street. They need to be given equal rights and equal opportunities in a democracy. And you see, we don't do that. We are a very lopsided democracy, and therefore we thought that there are some wrongs which need to be righted, or the society, the judiciary, our executive, they need to be shown a mirror so that they can take some steps, proactive steps, and make this a more open kind of a society for people to live in. So that is why we decided to take up these subjects. Of course, they will be controversial because we are questioning the very basics.
Ante oka political party ki favor ga chestaranu.
That they'll say. I mean, tell me what was Lal Bahadur Shastri? BJP was not there when Lal Bahadur Shastri was there. He was a Congress leader. Even Jan Sangh was not formed when Shastriji died. And there are so many people who raised this question in the parliament, it went unanswered. So basically, who came to us? BJP didn't come to us asking us to make a film. It was Shastriji's family who asked us to make a film on him. And one of Shastriji's grandsons is a Congress member of parliament.
Okay.
So how does that become a propaganda film? What has Kashmir got to do with BJP? It happened much before BJP was formed, So for people, when they don't have anything else to say, they will label you as something. They will label you as a propagandic film. They'll call your film vulgar. They'll call you all sorts of names. Basically, they'll try to demoralize you so that you don't make more films. Because only a person can only take so much of criticism. If I keep telling you all the time, oh, Venki, you're terrible. You can't take interviews. You're horrible. You should give up this profession. You're doing this for your own ends. You're doing this for a political party. One day you'll say, let it be. I don't want to do journalism. Let me get out of here. That is exactly what they try to do. But what we know better.
Very clever answer, madam.
Because they're just a handful of people. But look at the audience that our film gets.
Yes.
And look at the business the film does, which just goes to show that there is a huge number of people out there who want to know the truth. So who do we make the films for? The majority or these bunch of, jokers?
Coming to the Vaccine War movie, so Nana Patekar sir is a big artist and is a legendary artist.
Yeah.
So how you feeling?
Nana and I have worked earlier also, and very temperamental person, but a great actor. One of the best actors India has ever produced. And working with him again was wonderful. I always thought he was way, way above everyone else. But now when I saw him and when I saw the way he handled his character, age and experience also plays a lot of role in your understanding of any character. So that maturity, it shows in his character so brilliantly. He handled Balram Bhargav really well. So I think at the end of the day, I think Vivek made a good choice.
Pallavi ji acted with so many directors, so many movies. But how many marks give to Vivek ji?
How
As
many
a director,
marks do I
as a
give?
director, 100 marks. How many marks you give?
I don't know if I can answer this question without being biased.
Hat-trick completed.
Hat-trick completed.
Second hat-trick loaded.
We've been working since before we got married, so I've done a lot of work with him. From an actor's point of view, I think he
acted so many directors.
Yeah, he would come in the top five. Top five because
Top 5?
of the directors that I have worked with. Like I consider
in your film career, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, Shyam Benegal, one of the best directors I've worked with. Purely because he, like Vivek, he completely depends on the actors. Okay. He will never come and tell you how to do a scene. He'll just give you the script. Now this is the script, own your character and do it. He'll never come and direct you on the set saying that, no, you cry a little more or you laugh a little less. He'll never come and direct you. He'll say, you are the actor. It's your job to make to convince people about what you're doing. So Shyam Benegal, completely depends on his actors. And it is the actor's job to ensure that the character reaches the people. And his understanding of cinema is just on some other level. Second, I would say Govind Nihalani. Because Govindji, while Shyam Benegal takes quick decisions, Govindji is very methodical. He will rehearse the scene n number of times. Then he'll keep taking takes after takes after takes until he thinks he's got it perfectly. He may keep the second take after doing 25, but then he still keeps going. And he doesn't give up until he's satisfied. So you realize that with every single take, he comes and tells you about new things. He adds new nuances. So he helps you grow as an actor. So that it's wonderful working with him. Amol Palekar. Amol Palekar is one of the most wonderful directors I've worked with, and I consider him my guru because I started doing theatre with him when I was in 9th standard, And the fundamentals of acting, of what not to do, is something that he taught me very well. What you should do is something that everyone will tell you. But what not to do, ever, as an actor, do not ever make this mistake. He actually, told me so many points, and I realized I was indulging in them. I didn't even know the ethical part of acting, and he taught me that. So there's Amol Kaka, and then there is KP Shashi that I worked with in Malayalam film Ilayum Mallam. Very, very sorted person, very lenient with the artists, and a great visionary. He directed me so beautifully. He kept coming to me and telling me, Pallavi, this is a regional film, okay? I don't want you to look like a star. I don't want you to act. Just be, just be. And when he told me this about 3 or 4 times, I realized that I was actually acting.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, I'll just surrender myself to the character. So how to surrender yourself, how to be real, how to not act, these are the things that, you keep learning. So Shashi was one of them. And then Vivek, of course. Vivek, I don't want to talk about him. I mean, I'm so used to working with him, the world knows about it.
సో ఇన్ యువర్ 50 years జర్నీ ఎప్పుడైనా ఒకసారి డిసప్పాయింట్ అయ్యారా అంటే ఐఎమ్ నాట్ యాక్టెడ్ ఇన్ దట్ క్యారెక్టర్ అట్లా ఎప్పుడైనా ఫీల్ అయ్యారా?
Just one film. There was a film called Mrityu Dand by Prakash Jha. I was really looking forward to doing that film with him, and I haven't worked with Prakash Jha ever. So I was very, very overjoyed. But then Prakash Jha was making a very small film at that time. And then suddenly he got a backing of some financer, and he said that I'm going to put in a lot of money, but then you need to cast a star for this. So he ended up casting Madhuri for that role. And that was a film that I, feel very sad that I missed out on. But then Prakash Ji is the gentleman that he is. He came home to meet me with a bouquet of flowers, and he explained the reasons to me, and he said, this is the reason I can't cast you, although I'm really looking forward to working with you. No director does that, but he did that, and it's forever earned my respect because of that.
చాలామంది ఫ్యాన్స్ ఏంటంటే పల్లవిజీ డైరెక్ట్ టాలీవుడ్ మూవీకి డైరెక్ట్ టాలీవుడ్ తెలుగు మూవీకి ఎప్పుడు చేస్తున్నారు?
Telugu movie, call me. I want to do a Telugu film, but nobody's. I've never done a Telugu film. In my
నో
life.
బాలీవుడ్, నో టాలీవుడ్, నో కాలీవుడ్, టోటల్ పాన్ ఇండియా.
Pan India, of course. It has to be, I mean, our country is, a melting pot of different cultures, different languages. I would like to explore as many as possible.
సో ఓకే, టెల్ మీ అబౌట్ వ్యాక్సిన్.
So, Vaccine War is a film which a lot of people think is about COVID. It's not about COVID. It is about how our scientists, Indian scientists, made the vaccine and saved lives of 135 crore people.
ఓకే, అంటే మూవీ ఎందుకు చూడాలి? సో వీ హ్యావ్ సో మెనీ జనం ఆడియన్ వ్యూలో వ్యాక్సిన్ వార్ మూవీ ఎందుకు చూడాలి?
Okay. Because it talks about our scientific achievement. Up until now, India has been derided a lot. Everybody keeps telling us that you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. India can't do this. But within 7 short months, India made the perfect vaccine, which turned out to be the safest and the most effective. And in the making of this vaccine, 70% of the scientists were women. So it shows a great, strength of our Indian women, Indian working women. It is something that we call Indic feminism, because our feminism, our ideas of feminism is very different from the West. So it is a film that you will feel extremely proud of. You will laugh in the film, you'll cry in the film, and then you'll come out feeling extremely proud about your country and about our scientists. It is a very positive film. It is not intense like Kashmir Files or Tashkent Files, because it doesn't belong to the Files trilogy.
Okay.
This is an independent standalone film that we've made. And you'll also come to know how there was a section of people who were trying to sabotage our vaccine, who were trying to sabotage India's efforts at being Atmanirbhar. And we have shown their faces also. So it is a film that I think every Indian should watch, primarily the children, because they need to feel proud of the country. They need to take that imagery in mind and grow up and do something for their country.
ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్ మేడం.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for giving valuable time.
Thank you, Venki. It was lovely talking to you.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. యా, ఇది మన పల్లవి జోషి గారితో స్పెషల్ చిట్ చాట్. యా, దిస్ ఈజ్ వెంకీ సైనింగ్ ఆఫ్.